Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about this really offensive ableist ad that I saw on Twitter. This is what the ad looks like, and to keep it short and sweet for the intro, it's supposed to be about hiring disabled people, and you would think that, well, what's wrong with that? Well, I'm gonna tell you. But before we get to the nitty-gritty as to why it's ableist and offensive, if you haven't yet and you're interested in more of these videos and the learning experience, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell so you won't miss out on any videos. Also, if you would like to help support this channel and get exclusive content like these videos but more, be sure to pledge on Patreon. Always really appreciative, very helpful. So this ad is a Swedish ad, and it was taken and posted on Twitter by a disabled person from Sweden. A campaign made in an attempt to make companies hire disabled people out of pity purely because, quote, who else will, unquote. They put famous faces on disabled people's bodies with questions about, quote unquote, would they make it, quote unquote, would they be hired, upset and feeling utterly worthless, smiley face. First off, I want to say yes, we should be hiring more disabled people, more deaf people, more blind people, more mobility aid users, people with various chronic illnesses, and what else have you. And I am totally on board with an ad that showcases that and shows the photos of disabled people. But that's not what these people were doing. First, let's talk about the photos themselves, okay? So the photo of the woman in the wheelchair, that face is not hers. The body belongs to a biracial black and white woman, and they chopped off the woman's head and put the head of a white woman, a white able woman, put it up there. So what already went wrong was the woman, the body that belongs to, the woman did not consent to that. So she was actually able to get that image removed. But the other people who are featured, they didn't consent, and that black man's head, that did not belong on that body. That's not his body. So one, taking photos of disabled people without their consent and using it for your personal gain. And also, changing the race, taking a biracial black and a white woman and making her into a white woman, bad. Racist. Very bad. The other thing is the who else will. So these poor disabled people, nobody's hiring them, and you should be hiring them because how else are they gonna live? Yes, it is true that the unemployment rate for disabled people is extremely high. If we are employed, we are underemployed, or there's a high chance that we are underemployed. And in the United States, whoever has taken care of your pay, they are legally allowed to pay you extremely less than your able counterpart. I wish I was joking. I'm not sure how that is in other countries, but at least in the US, that's a thing. So yes, bring that up, and I get where you're going with the, you should be hiring disabled people. All these people aren't hiring disabled people, but you need to. It's a great thing. But don't do it as like a pity party, all these poor disabled people, like, I don't want to be the token disabled person. I don't want to be the token deaf employee. What you need to be doing instead is say, hire disabled people because they can do the job. See, I was trying to apply for many jobs, regular, normal, quote, jobs for years and years, and nobody was taking me for even an interview except for Chipotle, and that ended up in an absolute disaster. And then all these other people were like, we don't think you're gonna be able to do these jobs because you can't hear. And well, now I can barely stand for a long period of time. But we would not be applying for these jobs if we didn't think that we'd be able to do it. Right? Or maybe we might apply anyway, just hope for the best, but hey. I'm deaf, and when I saw this Japanese TV show about air traffic controllers, I really wanted to be an air traffic controller. I thought that was gonna be the coolest job ever. Also because I love airports, but like, come on, that would have been so cool. However, the requirements are you have to have very good vision and very good hearing. I have very good vision, but I don't have very good hearing. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to get that job, so I wasn't going to apply for it, because why would I? Just to be told no thanks. We're smart cookies. We know what we can and cannot do, right? So some of the replies I'm reading, let me guess, they had no actually disabled people involved in the planning and or execution of this campaign. This nonsense is what happens when you try to do anything about us without us. And the reply to that was, nope, the only disabled people involved seem to have been the disabled models, and this was not what they thought would happen with their pictures. And then, like I said, the biracial woman who said, take it off, they took it off, but the rest of the people involved allowed them to keep their pictures up with their heads chopped off. Also, the heads that they took off of able bodies to put onto the disabled bodies, to my knowledge, those are famous people. That I guess like famous Swedish actors or whoever, I don't know. I didn't really look closely at who they were. And so when they put those heads on the bodies, it would say, but what about these people? Would they make it? If these famous people were suddenly disabled, would you still like them? I kind of hate when people do that. I mean, yeah, anybody could be disabled at any given time. The man who is a disabled wheelchair user in NCIS New Orleans, he became disabled and yeah, he's in a wheelchair now. So anybody can become disabled at any given moment. But it's just so weird to me that you would just take people and, like, if you took my body and put, I don't know, Jennifer Lawrence's head on my body, I would just feel very disturbed about it. It's hard for me to put into exact words why this is so disturbing and why it's so wrong. I wish I could just, like, take the feeling that I have out of my body and just, like, put it onto the camera and then you all would get it, but for some reason, I just can't put it into words. If one of you watching this can put it into words for me, please leave it in a comment for people to read, because it's not coming to me. This is why it's very important to get disabled people involved in the creative process, and there were no disabled people involved in this process. This whole ad campaign was created by the Swedish government. It wasn't a business, like a small business of any kind. It was the Swedish government. And it's not like the Swedish government couldn't have asked for actual disabled input beyond, hey, can I have a picture of you so I can crop your head off and attach your body to an enabled person's body or head. If they had just gotten disabled input from the get-go, there would have been a whole better way to go about this. Like, we likely could have gotten a campaign that was more disabled people can do these things. Just because one person cannot hear does not mean that they cannot do this thing. Just because one person cannot see does not mean that they can do other things. There are blind and deaf people who work at the Apple stores, for crying out loud. There are deaf people working at Google. I don't understand. And I know, I get it. They want to, like, do the whole tear jerking, pulling the sap, the tears out of the able people, but to hurt us in the end, I don't like that. I'm personally not a fan of it. You may agree or disagree, and with that, you can leave your thoughts down in the comments. If you would like to help translate this video, I will have a translation link down below in the description box. Always helps out. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I will see you later. Bye!